It's mailbag time here on NBA Now by Chat Sports. Harrison Graham and Chase Sr. with you. Get some St. Patty's NBA gear, by the way. Chatsports.com/NBA Green. We'll show you some more of those items later on in the show. Justin Tanius there. Should the Warriors look to move Wiggins? The Warriors are going to look to be opportunistic at the deadline. And I think they would definitely be willing to move Wiggins because his contract's not very good. The question is, what does Wiggins net you? I think it's got to be a combination of like a Wiggins and that Minnesota pick to actually get you something tangible in return, in my opinion.
Don't be blinded by what Andrew Wiggins was looked at as a prospect coming out of Kansas.
He's not that guy.
He's not going to be the next Michael Jordan. He's not going to be a top 10 player in the NBA. That ship has sailed. Now, I was excited about Andrew Wiggins getting traded to Golden State because him joining that basketball factory where Golden State really develops players well, I was excited about that. And if you look at Andrew Wiggins' numbers, he's been a great player for a playoff contender. 17 points per game, field goal percentage at 46%, three-point percentage is around league average at 35%. He's actually improved of late.
Yeah.
So I'm hanging on to Andrew Wiggins because not only can he be an athletic player who can score the ball both shooting and off the dribble, but gives you value defensively as well. And look, Andrew Wiggins, still a young guy at only 26 years old.
Yeah, he seems like he's been in the NBA for a decade, yet he's only 26. Kind of a random question here, but it'll make more sense in a second. Another Chase, I think this is Chase Sr.'s burner accounts on today's show. Who's most likely to get traded now that Bradley Beal and Zach LaVine aren't likely to be traded? Number one, I agree. I don't think either of those guys get moved. The Bulls would be crazy to move LaVine, and the Wizards are playing better. Give us a couple of names real quick. Who do you think gets moved?
So the big one for me is Vucevic out of Orlando, and last year, the Magic were a playoff team heading into this season. I was excited about the prospects for Orlando, but they have had to deal with a litany of injuries all across the board. They're one of the worst teams in the NBA. So as you kind of reconfigure and reset if you're Orlando, what are the pluses? What are the advantages of holding on to Vucevic, who is already in his 30s by now? Trade him, get some great assets back. That's the number one name I'm looking at.
Name a player that will get traded at the NBA trade deadline. I think Nikola Vucevic is a guy. I think Andre Drummond gets dealt. Keep an eye on Kyle Lowry as well. Get your votes in. Name a player that you think could get traded before the deadline. Steph Curry has dropped in. Appreciate it. Marcus Smart for Kelly Oubre and a second. I don't say yes to that if I'm Boston, right? Like you're giving up Smart for Oubre? Second-round picks aren't worth anything in the NBA. I'm keeping Marcus Smart, right?
So if you're the Boston Celtics, Marcus Smart has been the heartbeat of that team. And I guess what you lose defensively by trading Marcus Smart, you gain offensively for Kelly Oubre. But if you're Danny Ainge and you look at this trade and you ask yourself, okay, do we get better because we're trying to improve because we've been lackluster this year by trading Marcus Smart for Kelly Oubre? I know Kelly Oubre has been better the last couple of weeks, but the answer to that question is no. So I would not do that trade.
I agree. Do you own any green clothes? I'll tell you what, why for yes and for no. My green department is pretty light. I don't have a lot of green clothes, but the reason we ask is you got to have something green. Otherwise, you're going to get pinched on St. Patrick's Day, and I'm not a pinch guy. I don't like getting pinched, so get some gear. Chatsports.com/NBA Green. Got all kinds of stuff available for all 30 NBA teams. We got hats, we got shirts, we got socks. There's some other stuff available as well. Celebrating St. Patty's Day by repping your team, and some of the stuff is actually on sale at that link. So go to chatsports.com/NBA Green. We'll put that link in the comments. It'll be in the description. All you got to do is click and shop today. Don't get pinched on St. Patrick's Day. Dongai Zhang, what is the trade going to look like if the Rockets trade Victor Oladipo, PJ Tucker, and Eric Gordon together? First of all, I think that's very unlikely. I don't think you can trade all of them together just financially. You're going to have to find a unique partner. Maybe a three-way trade is possible. How about this? Out of those three, who do you think is most likely to get dealt?
Victor Oladipo, because he turned down a long-term extension with the Houston Rockets. And Harrison, you do make a good point there. Maybe Houston they just decide to go with a full-on rebuild, and they do trade all 3 of those players, but it would have to be a 3-4 team combined trade.
Which we've seen one this year involving the Rockets already, so who knows? Jason 103, any prospects us Warriors fans should look out for in case they keep the Minnesota pick, which is top 3 protected. So let's say the ping pong balls don't go Minnesota's way and they're outside the top 3. These are your top 5 prospects. You're not getting Cade Cunningham. Let's be clear on that. He's going number 1, I would say at worst number 2 overall. So you're not getting him if you're Golden State, because if he's top 2, that means Minnesota keeps the pick there. But we just wanted to include him because he is the top guy there. It's a little early in the draft process. It's a weird year in college basketball with COVID-19. Some players have opted out, like Jalen Johnson of Duke. There, Chase. He could be a realistic option because that would mean it would be the number 4 or number 5 pick.
It really all depends on where that pick falls for Minnesota. If it's within the top 3, Harrison, as you mentioned, it's going to be protected. That moves to next year.
Yep.
If it is outside of the top 3, you're looking at potentially some of those options right there. If those players do fall, obviously there's 5 listed there, so some of them are going to be available outside of the top 3.
Who is your favorite draft prospect? The name everyone knows is Cade Cunningham, and being a Big 12 guy, I've really come to love his game. He's big, he's long, he can shoot, he's dynamic. Get your votes in. Favorite draft prospect for 2021. Subscribe to Chat Sports, because the only way you can be a part of our mailbags is if A, you sub, and B, join us live every single Friday on YouTube. We go live with NBA Now with the latest news, rumors, and of course our famous live mailbags as well. So turn on those notifications after you subscribe, and the link is right there. It's youtube.com/chatsportstv.